Good afternoon, everybody. We're here for segment number 3, Lumberjack Landlord, Mike Zuber, one rental at a time. We got to talk about this, Mike, because now with rates being what they are, talk to me about the cash out refi. You and I were telling people for a year.
Dion. Not today, Dion.
Do it now, do it now, do it now. Because when you want to do it, it's going to be a lot more expensive and it's going to be much more likely that you're not going to get nearly as much as you could.
Yeah.
So that being said, I know that we've had some people in some of the groups and posting on Three Amigos of FI and such, one rental at a time in the live chat there and on the Facebook group there. Talk to people about this scenario now today, June 17th, rates literally over 6.5 on owner-occ.
Yeah, so this is something that Matt, the mortgage guy, and I have been kicking around for 6 or 8 weeks, even before rates went up the last 100 points.
Okay.
There are bad mortgage actors out there today pitching cash out refis under the guise of take your 16K in credit card at 18 or 21 or 24%, pay that off, use your house to pay off your credit cards, basically. It's a good story. It's unfortunately a horrible financial move in most cases, right there. If you have like a 3% mortgage on $300,000 in debt, and then you go get 350K in debt, and you pay off 20K in credit cards, but now you have a 6%. It's just all kinds of bad.
Yeah.
It's just all kinds of bad. So I have I'm very concerned about people being spun around bad math. To that end, I have seen some people take cash out, right? They're taking their 4% up to 5.5. They're not paying off credit cards. They're using that as stacks to buy investment properties. Kind of different than the HELOC conversation we had in video number 1, right? It's actually, hey, I've got the cash. So let's talk about that. Again, I'm not a huge fan of it, frankly. I think taking a 4% loan up to 5.5 to pull out 40K and pay all those fees and recast the loan and all that's generally a bad idea. But let's just say you did it. You can't undo it, right? That loan at 4 is gone, or 3.5 or 3 is gone. So you've got 40K in your bank, just making these numbers up. What to do? Well, first thing I would do is I take that 40K and I would open a new bank account somewhere else. I would have no online banking access to it. I would not connect it to anything else. I would make it extremely hard to get. Because again, I know human nature. Lots of us, I would dare say most of us, will look at that 40 grand as almost free money. It's not free. It's probably the most expensive money you got, because you just took 300 grand that was at 4 and now you have 350 at 6. So it's all kinds of bad, but hey, you've got it. So treat it with kid gloves. What I would tell you to do, assuming it's 6% money, is you better go find a 12, 14. You better make this a great deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that debt needs to go on top of that. It's very expensive. And you've just added more debt to where your wife, your husband, your kids sleep. So I'm not a big fan of doing it, but if you've already done it, you had better get that money out of your purview. Because again, you had a great word in the first video, need creep or life creep or whatever it was. Because I've seen it. I've lived it. I saw one of the most frustrating memories I have as a kid. Because again, I didn't grow up with money. My family didn't have money. For whatever reason, my parents, I think it was $1,100. They were getting $1,100 back from the IRS for some reason, something. And I don't remember if it was 600 or 11, but whatever. I remember my parents being ecstatic for 24 hours. Like money came down from the heaven. Like if my family, when we had money, it was happy. Most of the time we did it, life sucked. They were happy. By the end of the weekend, they had both spent the money. They both spent the $1,100. We were in worse shape than we were 3 days before. And oh, by the way, we didn't even have the $1,100 yet. It was coming from the IRS.
Right.
So again, when I talk about the 40 grand in a separate account, not connected, no online, I mean that. Get that stuff out of the way, pretend it doesn't exist, and then go bust your ass and try to find a lifetime deal, a great deal. Yeah, I generally don't think it's a good idea. But again, if that's all you got, that's all the capital, you better go make sure you turn that into some kind of amazing, amazing deals.
Yeah. So one of the things that that I was always kind of a financial lesson that I learned from early on was never, ever, ever help the bank collateralize your debt.
Yeah, well said.
Why would you help them collateralize your debt? If you've made some bad decisions and you've spent 16, 18, $20,000 on a credit card and you have to hit the reboot button, do you want to be losing your house?
Exactly.
That 3.5% mortgage that you have, or 3% mortgage that you have, is now one of the world's greatest assets.
Agreed. The sub 4% loan, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best assets of the decade. Now, there's obviously lots of people that think we're going to get rates in the twos. Okay, I'd love to see it.
Oh my word!
I don't see it, but I would love it to happen. But yeah.
Again, don't make it easy on the bank to collateralize your debt. Number one, don't put your house at risk. Number two, but if you have done something like that, you need to make sure that what you're going after is going to give you very strong returns. It needs to be a great deal. It also needs to have less risk associated with it. Yes. Do not take a flyer on that money, because now that money is now the most expensive money that you'll probably ever get. And it has to give you return, but it just as importantly, it cannot put your primary residence at risk. Or even if you're doing this on an investment property like Mike and I did on a bunch of ours, you still don't want it putting another asset at risk. That's how the dominoes fell in 2008, was people were levering asset after asset after asset. And then when the first one fell, the second one fell, and the third and the fourth and the fifth. In fact, Mike, you did an amazing interview with somebody that lost $50 million in the last downturn.
Yeah, he had, roughly speaking, 400 homes in Florida, all with reasonable LTVs. He was again, this is his story, not mine, very indexed to the construction industry. And when that fell off a cliff, lots of his tenants couldn't pay, and the dominoes fell. And yeah, he lost $50 million. Single family homes, 50 million. That would leave a mark. And, the story goes on, he's overcome and he's worth a lot more now.
He is.
But $50 million, that'll wake you up.
Well, most people will never have that to lose it.
I mean, even if you knock off a 0, 5, can you imagine
$5 million? Yeah, no. Yeah.
No, can you imagine? No.
I don't want to lose $50. Like
I could lose $50. But not, 5 million. Oh.
Yeah, that's $50. That's my yard sale money.
Dude, I lost 150 grand and it almost destroyed me. I can't imagine losing 50 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fortitude that you have to have, like you have to come back.
Oh yeah. And his name's Rod Cleef. We're not trying to hide it.
Cleef. So Rod Cleef, he did an interview with Rod. I'm actually very familiar with his stuff. I think he's a brilliant guy. He's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Talk about next level energy, man.
Yeah.
Get ready.
He's like the healthy, all natural testosterone guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, so if you guys are out there and you're looking at a refinance on an investment property, make sure that you understand what your payment's going to be after. Make sure that your debt coverage is there and more than there. Because the other thing that you also have to worry about too is if you ever got into trouble with that property, and if I'm right and prices correct over the next couple of years, 10 to 20%, or by 2025, as an example, for $1, if by chance they do that, the thing that we all have to be concerned about is, will you then even be able to get out of that asset? And that's really becomes the challenge, because Mike and I can tell you firsthand, we were pretty clean in 09 and 10. And we still couldn't get loans unless it was private money.
I couldn't get a bank loan for like 9 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah,
I had a conversation with a EVP of lending this morning, and that was exactly the conversation I had. I said, I got to be nervous. I said, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah. I said, I don't want you guys to shut me off. And he goes, nah. He goes, your business, your business is the kind of business that we want. He goes, we're more concerned about a lot of the commercial stuff that was put under 5 years ago in 2017, 2018 with terms in the low 4s.
Yeah.
He goes, that are now resetting in the mid 6s.
Yeah.
And he goes,
they could go to the 7s.
right. Well, that's the thing is he's like, right now it's mid 6s. He goes,
exactly.
We're looking at that and saying, I mean, we're having to look at a lot of those projects and say, do they even make sense at that point? And I'm like, I can read between the lines what that banker is saying.
Yeah, I know what that means. No.
Someone's going to need to recollateralize. Someone's going to need to bring some money to the table.
Yeah.
A position that none of the three amigos, none of the experts on Mike's channel, none of us want you in that position. We just don't. It is stressful enough trying to do what we do. Don't add more stress to it and more weight on this. Too scary. Mike, any other closing thoughts?
No, I think that's it. Again, I want to invest every phone conversation or video we do now. I want to close with investors need to be excited for what's coming. We've been begging for the real estate market to slow down. It is here. It is picking up speed. It is happening at different rates in different places, but it's going to come across the country. I'm ecstatic. I'm already marketing to new things. Again, something you know about me is I market 3, 6, 9 months in advance because I want everybody saying my name. And hence I did a video a week ago about, hey, every real estate agent in Fresno, let's double in commission. I'm looking for these, bring them to me. Let's do 10 million bucks together. So I'm excited. I'm more excited today than I've been in 2 or 3 years.
Loved that video, by the way, especially taking off what we had talked about the previous week, which was number 2 on my list, double your efforts when it comes to networking. That's so much more than double, but it's awesome because it's going to get people's attention and you are going to get deals from it.
Yeah, I've already had several agents reach out to clarify what I'm looking for. That's when you start communication.
Yes.
It's all about just pivoting people's understanding, right? I don't expect deals today, but I expect to repeat this over the next 40, 60, 90 days, and then deals will just flood my direction. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely epic. Mike, where can everybody find you, my friend?
One rental at a time, YouTube, website, Instagram. We go live 8 a.m. Saturday, so tomorrow. Hope to see you there. If you want me to answer your question, I strongly suggest you join before 8:15 because we get a couple hundred folks, and I only go an hour because I have to be somewhere else at 9. So get on early.
It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. Dion and I are usually there. Steve Dow is usually there. Ryan Dana's usually there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go to hang out with Mike. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I always like to say, great content for you. Like, subscribe. Make sure you come and hang out for the live streams. I've got one 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday where we'll hang out for a few hours and just talk real estate. But looking forward to tomorrow, Mike. We'll certainly be there hanging out and seeing what people have to say. It's going to be fun. It's just getting interesting. It's going to
started.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Mike, thanks so much for the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep.
Take care.